Welcome to Say More, the podcast where we expand the conversation around what it means to be human. I'm here with my co-host, Emily Lawyer, licensed professional counselor, and I'm Andy Spray. And this week, a 4-year-old told me I looked like John Cena. We're answering your real questions, and while we're at it, creating a community where we can grow together and learn how to connect more to self in order to connect more to others and more to God.
Dude, what?
Hi.
The wrestler?
Yeah. He just goes, Miss Andy, you look like John Cena. And I've been thinking about it all week long.
Goodness.
I think
what's his trademark? He does the hand in front of the face.
The hand in front of the face.
Were you doing that to this
No,
4-year-old?
they
Were you
were-
taunting the 4-year-old with the hand in front of the face?
I body slammed him. No, we were talking about like height, and they were like measuring me. So I don't know if it was
Okay.
because I'm much bigger than them.
Yeah.
Does a lot for a gal's confidence. I really just can't stop thinking about it.
That was good.
I know.
You really got me on that
I'm
one.
going to remember that one forever. Oh, Miss Andy, you look just like John Cena. Cool. That's what I was going for, actually.
Well, hello, John
Hi.
Cena. I'm happy to be here with you.
Are you doing better than that?
Yeah, I think so.
I got you with that one.
You really did.
You know, we like to hear from the people, whether they be 4-year-olds
Always.
or adults. Somebody came up to me yesterday, somebody I had not met before, and he said he's been listening to Say More. And I thought that was so awesome. He said, I just want to tell you, I've been listening to your podcast. I'm really enjoying it. And he said, I love your energy. And I was like, that's great, because my entire energy goes into my personality. Because really the rest of the time, I would like to be laying in bed.
It's true.
So I was like, I'm so glad that comes through. He was just like, I love the banter. I love the energy. And then you actually got a really cool comment that I'm going to read, because we're going to give out, it's the time of year we do award ceremonies. We're going to give out an award to this listener.
Ah, okay.
This wonderful listener, who I don't know who it is. I don't know their name. But they sent you personally, because I think it's somebody you know personally, that, of course, they've been listening. And I love this. They're like, you know, we can always find an application because we're, in quotes, we're always in some kind of season with our kids. And as a parent, I can agree. There's
Always a season.
always some kind of season.
And like seasons, they're always changing.
They're always changing. But this listener said, I just listened to the self-compassion episode yesterday. I think I should get a blue ribbon because I was hiking as I listened to it. When I got to the tip top of the mountain, I promptly laid myself down on a picnic table, read 2 pages of a book, and took a nap.
Blue ribbon for sure.
Blue ribbon. And see what I'm saying? You spend all your energy learning about, mental and emotional health. You need a nap.
You need a nap.
Give yourself a nap.
It's both.
It's both. So
It's both and.
blue ribbons all around, and we're always so thankful to hear from people.
Truly.
And to know what's resonating, or even to know what's not resonating.
Well, and like we've said, it's not for us. I mean, it is partially for us because it's
At
helpful.
least a little bit.
It's helpful to know that it is proving to be meaningful for people, that it is proving to be helpful, that it is proving to take this really hard work of healing and bring some humor to it. So we are so, so, so grateful for the feedback.
And if you get nothing else out of it, give yourself permission to take a nap.
That's right.
You've got our stamp of approval on that one.
You sure do.
All right, what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about routines.
Routines. Would you consider yourself a particularly routined person?
I think all humans have a bent towards developing some semblance of routine. It's just part of who we are as humans. Like, were you part of the kind of family where you had the same dinners on certain days of the week?
Not rigidly.
Okay. You all didn't do that as much?
Not rigidly, but like you'd have like your weeknight sort of classic rotations, and then the weekend, it was like that's when your dad would grill, or my dad would grill steak or burgers.
Okay.
So it was like different. Weekend food was different than weekday food.
Okay.
And you'd have, I don't know if it was always like spaghetti's always on Tuesday, but there was always going to be spaghetti.
Spaghetti at some point
At
in the
some
week.
point in the week.
Well, my family took that and ran with it.
Oh, okay.
And really liked routine. In
Okay.
fact, I found out just recently, we had always done this in my family growing up, but I didn't realize my parents started the tradition even before they had kids. And my dad was telling me that on Monday nights, they called it Gunsmoke and Goulash.
Oh, they even had names.
They had names. Gunsmoke was Monday night, and they always had goulash.
Gunsmoke the show?
The show.
Okay.
And they would always make, it's my grandmother's recipe of this hamburger concoction goulash. So
Really, anything can be goulash. Throw it in a pot, it's goulash.
it's true. So we carried that when they started to have kids. We also had certain things on certain nights, and we had hamburgers and hee-haw on Saturday nights. So yes, when it came to that type of routine, my family really leaned into that.
Yeah, you guys had all kinds of names and traditions and all sorts of things.
Well, and we're going to learn today together about not only why we have sort of a natural inclination towards that, but also just why it's so good for our brains.
I am curious, and this, diagnostically speaking, is not a very large sample size, but I'm curious if this is normal or you think this is weird, that I always, like, when I shower and get ready and, like, put my makeup on, I do everything in the exact
In the same order?
Because
Yeah.
I think I'll forget it if I don't.
Yes.
Even doing it in the same order, I'm like, wait a second, I zoned out. Did I wash my face? Better do it again.
Right.
I think
right.
I washed my face 3 times on average.
Well, and I think to the dinner thing, this is so helpful for moms, for anybody. If you're able to move something into that automatic category, it conserves energy, right? That's partially why the brain likes it. If you know, I've got, today is Monday, and I don't even have to make a decision about what we're having for dinner. We're having goulash.
It does make it easier.
It makes it a lot easier.
I should probably adopt that as somebody who hates figuring out what's for dinner. As somebody who regularly gets to 5:30 and goes, oh, I got to feed these people.
Well, and especially in a world with endless choices now.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? It really provides some real comfort to just know, no, my brain already knows the routine. I don't even have to think about it.
Well, you already know about my favorite weekly routine. We do a Friday night movie night.
Yes.
And you are part of our family in that. And you come over, I mean, pretty much every single Friday.
Pretty much.
There's an occasional break in the schedule as my kids are getting older. Sometimes we have to shift things around. But pretty much every Friday, you come over, we do takeout. The kids get to take turns going with you to pick up food. Sometimes we play a game if there's time, and we always watch a movie. And this is like the rhythm.
It's the same order every time.
It is like the consistency of our week, no matter how inconsistent, because I think you've known as my friend and now working with me together
on a podcast,
my perhaps less disciplined, less organized parts of myself. This is one that we always stay really consistent with, and it's really fun. And we're going to talk about it, I think, a little bit more later. But listen, Emily, what are routines if not putting things in the correct order?
That's it.
So I've come up with a game for us to play today.
We love it.
I call it Order Up. Okay? Order Up, where I'm going to name some things for you, and you have to put them in the correct order.
I have to put them in the correct order.
Yes. And you actually are going to do the same for me, but I couldn't write my own.
Okay.
So our production assistant, Matt.
He's working overtime.
And I handed you a sealed envelope. So
Yes,
I have
you
not
did.
seen what you're going to ask me, but I'm going to start by asking you. I'm going to name, so this goes into our movie night theme. I'm going to name for you 5 movies.
Okay.
And you have to put them in order of when they were released.
Okay.
And the theme is these are all 5 movies we have semi-recently watched on our movie nights.
Okay.
So this is what's so fun about your kids getting bigger. It's sad when kids get bigger. We love them when they're small and snuggly. But it is so fun. The movie options really start to open up.
They do.
And we've had a lot of fun going through like older movies that we grew up with to share with the kids. Okay. So I'm naming, these are 5 we've seen recently, and you have to put them in order of when they were released.
When they were released.
Are you ready? Order up. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. I'm trying to make it tricky but not hard.
Okay.
We'll
I have
see.
a feeling that people listening, because we've done this several times, when they hear us say, I'm giving Emily a sealed envelope and she's seeing something for the first time, they're either getting really excited or nervous.
They're getting excited to be better than us because I still hear people saying how much better they were than us at Mad Gabs. And the music lyrics game, which is fine. That's great. We love that for you. Okay. Here you go. Here are your 5 movies.
All right.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Okay.
Sister Act.
All right.
Rudy.
Oh.
The Outsiders.
Okay.
And Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Okay. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Sister Act, Rudy, The Outsiders, and Indiana Jones.
You're kind of stuck in a time period.
Can I go like most recent to later?
Sure, that's fine.
The first one of those that came most recent would have been Sister Act.
Okay.
So Sister Act, I'll work my way back.
Fine.
Sister Act, Rudy, which came out, Indiana Jones or... Okay, I'm going to go Sister Act, Rudy, Indiana Jones, Ferris Bueller, Outsiders.
It's just so much incorrect.
Oh, man. What? Did I at least get Sister Act correctly?
No, you did not.
That's not the most recent one?
No, I knew that would trick you. Rudy came out in 1993.
Oh.
You think he's from the 80s, but he's not. He was 1993.
I love that movie.
Sister Act, 92.
Okay.
So you had those flipped.
I had those flipped.
Ferris Bueller, 86.
Okay.
Temple of Doom was 84. So you had those 2 flipped.
Oh, boy.
And then you were correct that The Outsiders was the oldest one.
1 out of 5 ain't bad.
We'll see. I don't even know.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, yeah.
All right. So we're starting first for you.
Yes, what's my category?
With historical events.
Oh, okay.
No, but this is your bread and butter.
It is, but high pressure.
Okay.
I do, listeners, I do have a degree in history.
Yes.
And I love trivia, but high pressure.
Okay,
high
here we
stakes.
go.
Okay.
The end of apartheid in South Africa.
Ooh, that was a good one. Okay.
See, you're already excited.
I am excited.
The Challenger explosion.
Okay.
Hurricane Katrina hits New Orleans.
Oh, okay.
The fall of the Berlin Wall.
Okay.
And the first iPhone release.
Ooh, that's such a Matt question.
You put that one in. See, already my brain is just, it's like clicks and whistles.
Okay. Let me make sure I've remembered them all, but I think, so Challenger exploding. Fall of the Berlin Wall. End of apartheid. Hurricane Katrina. And first iPhone.
Yep.
I'm locking it in.
Yep.
Was I right?
Oh, wait, that's what you said? I'm sorry,
so.
say it again.
Okay.
I thought you were just repeating them back to me.
Well, I was, but also in what I think is correct order.
Okay.
Challenger exploding happened first.
Yeah.
Then the Berlin Wall coming down. Then apartheid ending. Then Hurricane Katrina. And then last one being iPhone.
Amazing.
Woo!
I mean,
right.
seriously, take a moment to feel proud about that.
Where's my blue ribbon?
That's right. That's incredible.
It helps when these are things that happen when you grow up because you can have like, I know Hurricane Katrina happened when I was in college. So like I can lock that in, and then you sort of work forward.
For everybody listening, first iPhone released 2007.
2007.
And our world's changed.
So your next category.
I'm not feeling good already.
You should be feeling good. You're doing great.
1 out of 5.
Yes. Okay. This one's even better for you than movies.
Okay.
So I had to kind of get extra tricky.
Okay.
Don't be mad. This is albums.
Oh.
Emily is an avid music fan.
Yeah, I am.
She listens to tons of music now, but I had to make it a little bit tricky.
Okay. This because it feels like there's pressure.
Only albums from the 90s, but that's your era, girl.
It's true, but that's gonna okay.
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
Okay. Nirvana Unplugged in New York.
Okay.
Which is my favorite Nirvana
the
album.
Unplugged.
Yep. Okay, here, I'm throwing you a softball.
Okay.
Sheryl Crow, Tuesday Night Music Club.
Okay.
That was one of your favorites.
Yeah, it is.
Pearl Jam 10.
Okay.
Heavy Sigh. Lauryn Hill, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Okay.
And Radiohead, OK Computer.
All right. I know Sheryl Crow came out in 94. I thought Nirvana's first album came out in 92, so Unplugged would have been later. I think, okay, I'm going to say Pearl Jam 10 first, Nirvana Unplugged, Sheryl Crow Music Club, Lauryn Hill. No. Let's go OK Computer and then Lauryn Hill. Did I not get it?
Ooh, so close. You were so close. Okay. You mostly got it. These were tricky.
Okay.
Pearl Jam was 91.
Okay.
Sheryl Crow was 93.
See, that's where you got me. The
Yeah.
Nirvana Unplugged. I couldn't quite exactly
I was
remember when
trying
that
to make it
came out.
tricky, and you only had
did.
so much time before Kurt Cobain died. That's sorry. I didn't mean that to be morbid. I just meant
You did get
he
me
wasn't
with that.
producing, making music after.
What year did Nirvana Unplugged come out?
94.
It came out in 94 too?
Came out in 94. Sheryl Crow came out in 93.
Oh, it must have been late 93.
It was like late summer. I'm so sorry to tell you that.
That's okay.
You almost flip-flopping, but you got it right. OK Computer was 97.
And then Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill was 98.
Okay. All right. Boy,
That's amazing, though.
This shows how well you know me, though, because I do all 5 of those albums.
I know.
Tippity top of my list.
That's what I picked ones that you would lock in on, but I did
Tippity
specifically.
top.
I was like, I think the Nirvana one's going to be tricky.
It was.
So sorry.
And now I have, all the songs from that album in my head.
Yeah, you can play them on your way home.
That's right. Okay, your next one. Again, a shared love for us.
Okay.
TV shows.
Yes.
This should be just fish in a barrel for
That
you.
should really be my degree. Forget history.
Well, there's a couple of tricky ones. Are you
okay,
ready?
okay, yeah.
All right. Friends.
This
And I guess
is when they debuted.
when they debuted.
Okay.
Sure. Friends, Mad Men,
Ooh, okay.
The Wonder Years,
Oh, okay.
Lost,
Okay.
and Boy Meets World. Mr. Feeney.
Okay. Let's see.
Order up.
Order up. I'm going to say 1 Wonder Years, 2 Friends, 3 Boy Meets World, 4 Lost, and 5 Mad Men.
So close.
Oh,
It's the same sort of thing that happened with the albums. Boy Meets World and Friends were very close
Was Boy Meets
together.
World 93?
Boy Meets World came out in 93.
And Friends came out in 94. I knew Friends was 94. I thought maybe Boy Meets World was like 95.
Yes. It's so hard when you think back, because you even paused for Lost and Mad Men.
Yeah.
Because things get all blurred together in the memory. And this is why order is so helpful for us.
Everybody order up. I think we did pretty good.
I think so.
I think that was passable. So let's take that into our question this week. Okay, this week's question is, can you say more about building traditions with your family?
Say more about building traditions. Yet again, even the question itself speaks to what it means to be human, right? Like we kind of said in our opening, that just the proclivity towards putting things in an order, towards routines, is just a very human thing. This question is saying this person has a hope, or at the very least a curiosity, about incorporating something that happens over and over in their life. So it speaks to that we must already know there's some benefit to it. Maybe we believe there's benefit because we had our own beloved routines growing up, like hamburgers and hee-haw.
Yeah, goulash and gunsmoke.
Maybe because I had no traditions or routines growing up. And maybe because my life was very unpredictable or even chaotic. And now I want something different for my own life or for my own family or the lives of my children. One thing we know is that, like we're saying, all humans naturally gravitate towards routine. So that also might be informing the question. And like many of our episodes, just because the question asks about this concept in families, it doesn't mean this episode is just for parents or just for people with kids. We're opening this up because we all benefit from routine. We all benefit from developing those types of things in our lives. Also, I'm going to give everybody a heads up. This episode is going to be like those days in class when your teacher rolled a TV in on the AV cart.
The best day in class.
Because...
Are we about to watch Bill Nye the Science Guy? Is that what you're telling me?
Or you know what I was thinking of, because I was thinking about different things to watch, or a very inappropriate movie. Sometimes that's what ended up being shown in class too. But we are, the reason I'm saying that is because we've been working really hard in season 3, right?
That's true. We've had some heavy topics.
We've been bringing a lot of things up from our subconscious, which is hard work. We've been exploring our automatic patterns, like slowing those down and really doing some heavy lifting when it comes to those. We've been even intentionally exposing some things that we're doing that we didn't even know had detrimental effects, right? Like, what? I didn't know that I was unintentionally shaming myself this much, or I didn't know that I was bypassing that away. So today's episode is a little more light lifting.
Okay, great.
Okay, there's still a lot of goodness in it. It's just not going to require quite as much of the hard working through in the brain. It's a little bit of a breather. It's kind of like a rest day. There's still goodness, but it's just not going to be as strenuous. This is also an episode where when you hear all the benefits of routine, you might be feeling proud for what you're already doing, like you said, with your kind of shower and skincare routine, right? Because hopefully that's something that you can already put as a feather in your cap and walk away from this episode feeling, hey, I'm already one step ahead of the game.
It might be the only step I get, but I did wash my face.
Right. And if you also are looking for maybe some more additional encouragement, maybe today will be an episode that will let you know all the goodness about it and kind of inspire you for that. So let's go ahead and jump right in there.
Let's go for it.
With what are the actual benefits? I recently came across a study done by the University of Michigan in 2020. It was published in the Journal of Family Psychology. And I'm not going to bury the lead. This was their mic drop finding. Are you ready for this? They discovered that one family ritual on Fridays, so just one, and it was at the end of the week, that one family ritual on Fridays lowers the risk of anxiety disorders in teenagers by 40%.
Whoa.
40%. When you're doing an experimental study, to get that type of result is like unheard of.
When you say one ritual, like it could be like we just go out for pizza on Fridays.
Yes.
It could be as simple as that. It doesn't have to be a whole...
No, yeah, we're going to get some more into it, but it was just one ritual. And it lowers the risk of anxiety disorders by 40%, and the effects last for years.
Wow.
Even after you've gone on and developed a different type of routine or a different type of ritual. So you've got a routine in the study. You've got a routine that's happening at the same time, just once a week, but at the same time. And here's what they did for the study. They observed 184 families with teenagers aged 13 to 17. And they learned that out of that sample size, families who had a recurring ritual, and like you were asking, it could be a dinner, it could be a walk together, it could be a movie on Fridays, showed 40% fewer symptoms of anxiety and depression.
Wow.
Now, you could say we probably got some really scientific research minds out there listening. You could say, well, okay, but Emily, correlation doesn't equal causation. I agree. However, when we cross-examine this with other good data that I'm also going to mention, and even additional data that we're learning just about the brain overall, it tracks. It tracks.
Yeah. Can I ask a question about this or just make a comment? The reason I wanted to know is like what means, what counts as a ritual is because I get a lot of people saying like, well, you know, we know about this movie night thing and sort of annoys people sometimes, but I take it very seriously and I hold on to it. I'm very protective of giving that time up. But because my kids are the same age, finding a movie that's appropriate for everybody that everybody likes to watch it's a little easier when you have twins. Sure. And I totally get that. And so I think this is really important to hear for families who are like, I would love to do something like that, but it's really tricky for me to find a movie that suits my 6-year-old and my 12-year-old, which I totally get. So I really like that you, helped us understand what is giving us the benefits?
What is giving the benefit?
It's not the actual we're enjoying a movie together
Correct.
that we all found that we all like to.
And this study even allowed for that it was different types of activities. The bigger piece was the consistency.
Yeah.
And that it was taking place within the relational connectedness.
So you were talking to us about the brain because that's where your expertise comes in. So what is happening in the brain when we get this kind of predictability?
The routine predictability. Yes. So just what you named. Our brains are always scanning for predictability because predictability equals safety. For our brains, predictability equals safety, equals security. So in this study, scientists are observing what happens when our brains encounter a stable rhythm of predictability in our environments. And what they're naming is when our brains encounter that steady rhythm, it lowers baseline stress in our brains and in our bodies. And on top of that, in this particular study, it's also saying that the brain learned to anticipate, right, a stable rhythm of relational connection, right? Because it was happening on Friday nights. That in these families, we know on Monday we've got Friday is coming, and we can anticipate that's when we're going to have this reliable rhythm of connectedness.
So our brain is kind of looking forward to the predictability and safety that.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it can even tap into that before we even get to Friday.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's anticipating it. So when our brains know Friday means togetherness, or Thursdays mean dinner with my friends, or, Saturdays mean dad's going to grill out.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Our nervous systems stop living in constant alert mode. And I think that's also, we're kind of opening, not only does the brain love predictability, but our brains also love a sense of resolution, kind of like what we're doing with our order up game, right? When everything is out of order, you're working a little bit harder to try to figure out, wait, that's not right. That's not where that goes. Hang on, I need to pay attention to this thing that's out of order. And then when it gets put in order, okay, there's a sense of resolution, there's a sense of calm. So what this study is saying is when you incorporate that sense of resolution, just even in your rhythms of connecting, in your environment, the brain is getting so much benefit from that. Okay, so let's keep going because it's not just this study. I got more. I got receipts.
All right.
Harvard School of Public Health in 2021 showed that even short family traditions reduce activity in the amygdala. So that's our fight, flight, or freeze part of our brain, right? And that homes with repeated rhythms of togetherness, even in small family traditions or small rhythms, resulted in lower levels of reported loneliness and showed higher stress resilience due to the consistent felt sense experiences of this routine message that you're not alone. So we've got, all right, routine benefits because we're seeing it lowers the risk of anxiety and depression disorders. Now we're also saying it seems to contribute to less experience of loneliness. It allows a greater resiliency when you encounter stress. So, and this is all from just even a short family or tradition that you've incorporated with your friends or your coworkers or your neighbors.
Yeah, so this doesn't have to be just in families.
Not at all.
Anybody having some sort of built-in consistency in their week, but to be, you said relational.
Relational.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a big, it's not just you.
Correct.
Doing your...
We get some benefit from that type of routine. But yes, but these studies...
We're saying relationally.
Correct.
So maybe if you're in a family, it's we sit down for dinner.
Yes.
On weeknights.
Yes.
We sit down for dinner together.
Yes.
Or maybe, like you said, it's coworkers. Every Thursday we go out after work and we really look forward to that time together.
Yes. I mean, I'm thinking because it's in my brain because we were talking about the TV shows, but what did everybody in Friends do? They went to the same place for coffee over and over and over again. That was like their gathering place. So even a routine like that this is the place that we go.
Right.
And we know we go there at around a certain time. Maybe it's I go on a walk to Starbucks with my coworker at 3 p.m. every day. And it's part of the routine. It's small, but it's something that can be anticipated, that we know there's going to be a sense of connectedness there. All right, I got one more for you.
Another study?
Just in case you're still dubious.
Professor Egghead, you've been studying for us.
A Canadian study cited in the Journal of Adolescent Health from 2018 found that structured family evenings reduced behaviors such as alcohol use, aggression, and sleep difficulties, citing that teens from these families have higher levels of oxytocin that comes from trust.
Aww.
So now we're getting down to even the chemical reactions that are happening in the body that is going to inform behaviors or inform what your baseline level of stress looks like or inform how you go into relationships, right? So over and over and over again, we've got all this data that keeps pointing to, my goodness, there's so much here. The Canadian study cited that the rituals acted as, they called them, emotional anchors.
I love that.
Keeping adolescents grounded when everything else was changing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're right. Like everything in that period of time is transitioning.
Yes.
Everything is changing. Everything feels unstable. Your body, your friendships, your school, all of that. And so having that consistency.
This is the touch point. This is the anchor.
The anchor.
And I know it's coming, and I know it's going to be consistent.
Yeah.
And I know it's going to happen routinely. Mm-hmm. And the brain is so much goodness is happening with that. Now, this isn't exactly new.
Yeah.
Right? We've known the benefits of family dinners for a very long time.
Well, at least we've been hearing about it. I don't know if I've ever heard studies like this.
Right. And that's what I like is that these studies are also kind of tying together a lot of the terminology that's just in our lexicon right now of anxiety disorders and depression. And anytime we hear the word anxiety or depression, our ears perk up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So even to tie in some of these findings.
It is sort of backing up the old wisdom. I mean, that's what, when we got married, it was like, make sure you always eat together at the table every single night.
Yes, yes. And in fact, I mean, even our ancient ancestors would look at this or these studies and say, well, duh, I could have told you that. I mean, almost every culture and world religion incorporates routines of connection and celebration. Jewish culture practices Shabbat.
Yeah.
And there's overlap with the practice of Sabbath there, right? For me, personally, this is another area that I believe is further proof of a God that exists and that we were created by a God that exists, because routines like this are documented everywhere in the Bible. The Jewish people were instructed to live an incredibly rhythmic life, right, of ritual when it came to togetherness. There's documentation of festivals of celebration and festivals of remembrance. So I think, if we were to talk to some of our ancestors, they would say, oh, yeah, for sure, that's going to be beneficial for you.
Right. It's like, I think we go through these sort of pendulum swings culturally where rhythms and routine sort of, if you're not engaged in them, they feel like empty rituals. So you swing the pendulum all the way over into, we don't need any rituals. We don't need any of that. Point. And then it's like, then we all feel all disorganized and like we're coming apart at the seams. And we're like, actually, maybe some of those rhythms and routines weren't just meaningless rituals.
Yes.
Maybe they were intentional.
Yes.
Maybe they really brought something. And it sounds like the study is
to society. Yes. Yeah. Now, you and I are so bought into this already.
Oh yeah, we're into it.
That cultivating this type of relational routine is something we've incorporated even into our friendship. Mm-hmm. And as you mentioned in our opening, this is something that has been incorporated into the lives of our friendship plus your family's life. So, every episode, you and I can relate to it because we're human. But this topic has been very specific to our friendship. So tell people a little bit, because I know you've told me that, like you were saying in the marriage counseling, you always had a desire to create a routine like this for your family?
Yeah.
So tell people a little bit more about that.
Sure. I mean, again, the old wisdom of sit down and have dinner. And I grew up in a house where we sat down and had dinner, and that was like an important thing. And so I always sort of had that sense of coming together at the end of the day, or, in your day as a family, is important, and it's intentional, and you talk. And of course, this was before phones, and now it's like no phones.
Yeah.
We're here, we're talking. And actually, I'm just going to toss this out for anyone who's interested. My family, we play games during dinner. There's some games that obviously do not work while you're eating, and other games that do. And I would say, I don't know, 4 out of 5 times when we're sitting down for dinner on a weeknight, on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, we're playing some kind of card game or easy kind of game that you can, not a high stakes, high pace kind of game. But it was when my kids were still little, I had seen something, I think I saw it on Instagram, that was about how this was a mom of older kids, and how one of the best things she ever did was starting a Friday night pizza night. And she was just like, we started it when they were little, and we always had pizza. And then I think it evolved into a movie. And she had teenagers, and she said, now my teenagers want to come back for Friday night movie night. They bring their friends over. Their friends say, I wish we did Friday night movie night. And it just sort of became this thing. And the whole idea was, you start traditions, like you don't just come upon that.
Right.
You build that, right? And so my kids were, I don't know, middle elementary school. And of course, at the very beginning, they can't really sit for movies. But at some point, middle elementary school, it was like, what if we just said, hey, Friday nights, this is what we're going to do. And as we started building into that, it was COVID. COVID hit. And
right when you were starting to build into that.
Right when we were starting it. And it probably wasn't super consistent at the beginning.
Yeah.
But it was not like, it wasn't an accident. That's what I'll say. It was an intentional thing I was trying to do to set up for our future. I didn't know any of these studies. I didn't know any of the things you're telling me. I just thought, hey, that sounds nice. And I like the idea of teenagers having something that they look forward to with their families as they get older. And so as COVID hit, we sort of, after the very beginning scary, we incorporated you kind of into our family.
Into your pod.
And it was that summer. And that's how it started.
And
It was like, that part actually wasn't intentional. I think you just joined us a handful of times.
Yeah.
And at one point, my son was like, Emmy, they call you Emmy. They're like, Emmy has been here 3 Fridays in a row. And I was like, well, maybe she should come next Friday. And it turned into you joining us for this thing, which has now grown.
As you've named, it's become bigger than the sum of us.
Yes, it really has.
It really has. And for the genesis of that to happen during COVID, when we were all feeling so much unpredictability.
Right. The height of unpredictability.
Oh my goodness.
And loneliness.
Yeah. Yes. And anxiety and depression. And that was, for all of us, that was just like a oasis in the desert. And
I can tell you how lonely and depressed and anxious you must have been, because our first 3 movies were Despicable Me.
I don't even remember.
And the fact that you kept coming over.
I don't even remember that. I don't even remember that.
You're like, you know what? Minions, fine. That's how desperate I am.
Sounds great.
For a connection.
Yes, well, and it was very organic. I mean, we just kind of paid attention to what your kids were wanting or leaning or gravitating towards. And then we just sort of formed different pieces to the routine out of that, and it's changed over the years, and I'm going to ask you to talk about that a little bit more in a minute. We didn't force it.
No.
Right? And so I think as everyone is listening, to take that for yourself as well, that it can be a very organic potluck.
Yeah.
It can start off with just, this Friday, I would like to have some people over for, appetizers and a drink, and we're not gonna make it perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're just gonna do that, and then kind of see how people gravitate towards it.
Yeah.
And sometimes these routines can develop just out of that first instance, like we're talking about.
And this is why I didn't know we were going here, so I might have jumped the gun earlier, but this is why I brought up the thing of like, it doesn't have to be a movie night.
No.
But like some kind of, think about what you want to build and then allow it to happen. And then because like you said, it started differently and then certain aspects of it fell away.
Sure.
Certain things became more important.
Right.
Like choosing the dinner sort of became more important as they've gotten older.
Right.
Or how we choose the movies has sort of developed as we've gotten older. So certain things are going to be organic. And the point is not everybody needs to have a movie night that looks just like this for your teenagers to not have anxiety and depression.
Correct.
That is not the message.
Correct. There's lots of room for creativity here. Because we've also, and as we're naming from this research, they also learned that the brain starts to synchronize brain waves with these types of interactions. So it starts to create a sense of safety even without words.
Yeah.
It's just, there is safety being created just in everybody knowing that they have a role in this, just in everyone knowing that they have a place. For example, for ours, we always sit in the same chairs at dinner, right? We always sit in the same place on the couch when we sit down for the movie.
Yes, we do.
And over time, we've fallen into a rhythm where there's always one kid that goes with me to get food and then the other kid, right? So again, like we're naming, there's can be a lot of flexibility that's incorporated into these, and there still is so much tremendous benefit.
So what do we need to include to have the benefits that you're talking about, to provide the safety? What is important?
Yes, and that's what these studies are confirming for us, that consistency matters more than form. Or consistency matters more than the particular elements that you're including. I love the way one study worded it. They said, when a teenager knows that Friday is not an obligation, but a, quote, family island, the brain receives the message that the world is stable. So start small.
Yeah.
And the possibilities are really endless when we do that. It can be meeting the same friend for dinner or drinks at the end of the week. It can be going for a walk with the same person. It doesn't even have to involve food, right? It can be just taking a walk to the same place. In fact, right now, as you're listening, if you find yourself thinking of an idea and it already feels a bit overwhelming, that probably means it's too big of a step.
Scale back.
Scale to something smaller, because consistency is really the bigger piece. Now, as we're naming this also, you might start to be thinking, are there any downsides to cultivating routines? Anytime you have a source of safety and stability, the brain is going to want more and more of that.
Oh, interesting.
And then once it gets used to it, it's going to get scared when there's the chance of it going away.
Oh, okay.
So even with good things, we can develop some rigidity. And that's also what we're doing in the Say More community, right? Is learning to grow. Okay, what comes up for me whenever certain things that I've learned to anticipate or I've learned to predict, what happens when maybe they can't happen the way that they normally do? What emotions come up for me? What beliefs come up for me? How do I interact with that? How do I manage that? And this is something that also that's like our time together has been a learning lab for that, right?
Yeah.
Because like you said, we try to keep Fridays protected for that. Sometimes it's just inevitable that that's not going to work.
Right.
And so I think we've all been on a learning curve, the adults and the kids, of, all right, how do we practice flexibility when maybe we have to meet on a different night, or we have different foods than we normally do, or a different kind of movie than we're used to. So we've been drawing from our learning in that too.
Yeah, this has been another intentional thing for me, because I have one child in particular who struggles to be very rigid. And so trying to navigate that, as much as we love and value this time together, we can look at it with some flexibility.
Yes.
We can adjust and adapt as needed. And so that's been like an intentional, like you said, learning. I think everybody feels it. There's just one who states it more, more obviously than the others. And just to be able to say, okay, well, we can look at this differently. We can prioritize it while still having a flexible mindset around it.
Because our brains have done what this study found.
Yeah.
Our brains have learned to derive a sense of safety and stability in the predictable routine, in the predictable rhythm. So I think, this is an opportunity to as a family even to practice that, to say, okay, sure, it's okay to feel disappointed right now. It's okay to say, oh, I really wish we could do it the way we always do it. Or just because we're not doing it this time, does this mean we're never going to be doing it again? Yep, that would make sense that fear is coming up. So to be able to kind of speak to that. Now, if all this goodness, and even if as humans we naturally gravitate towards this, there must be a reason that we don't all do this.
That we don't do it.
Right? Yeah. There must be a reason. So what gets in the way?
Oh, I have a feeling I know where you're going with this.
Where you want to take a guess?
Well, just knowing you so well and knowing something you comment on, very rightly so, is pace of life.
Yeah.
Is that where you're going with it?
That's the first one we're going to start with.
Yeah.
We live in an age where everything feels urgent.
Yeah.
Right? The anxiety in the air is contagious. It compels us to follow that current. And so stepping into developing this type of routine takes a lot of energy to be countercultural. The urgent is always competing for the important. And so to be able to pause and say, okay, I'm learning these things. Even some research is telling me just how good it is. What do I need to be able to say, I think I'm going to be a little countercultural here, and I think I'm going to try just this Friday to implement something. So yes, the pace of life and the age that we are in, I think, makes it really difficult. Also, perfectionism can get in the way of this. Great is always the enemy of good as well.
Right. I want it to look a certain way, and it can't look that way, so therefore, forget it.
Yes. Yeah. Correct. And so that's what we're doing in this community, right, is to learn how to cultivate that flexibility so that we can step into it. Also, anytime I say yes to something good, like developing routine, I'm probably going to have to say no to something less good.
Yeah.
And so our capacity to feel disappointment can get in the way of creating this type of routine. Maybe also you're someone who feels a higher level of social anxiety, and fear of judgment or rejection might get in the way. Sometimes we can even talk ourselves out of this type of routine or cultivating this type of routine because we might find ourselves saying, well, I'm not married or I don't have kids, and so I can't do that. Include other people. Again, we're going to go back to our own personal lives as an example. It is so helpful for children to have adults in their lives that aren't their parents, they're caring, trusted adults. And so to be able to incorporate other people who maybe are in a different season of life also can be a beautiful thing to put into this type of routine.
Yeah. As you're talking, I just think like there's just so much competing for our time and our energy. Yeah. And like you said, it all feels so urgent. And I can speak from a parent perspective as like every activity, every sports thing, it's like they just grow as your kids get bigger. And I remember my daughter was interested in something, and if she had made this team, it would have been practices on Fridays. And we just looked at it and was like, we're not willing to do that.
Yeah.
And thankfully she had a similar thought process as I did of like, I'm not willing to give that up. But if you've already given it away, it's hard to get back.
Yes.
And I totally understand. So this is not like if you that's bad or wrong. I get it. It's just, it's so much is competing for that.
It's so much. And I think these types of opportunities, and yes, to what you're naming, also we're offering just so much compassion in this and how hard it is.
Yes,
because these types of opportunities also used to be kind of handed to us by society, right? Everything closed on Sunday.
Yeah.
So you had to develop some sort of
I think it did
togetherness.
used to be a little more built in.
Everyone was eating dinner around the table because there wasn't anywhere else to go eat dinner, right? Or everyone was gathering at some type of routine place of community, whether it was a church or a Rotary Club or Friday night high school games, because that was the norm.
Yeah, you're so right.
And I think it's harder than ever, truly, to thrive in these kinds of rhythms, because there used to be just things that societally everyone was doing, and now
everybody's running individually,
right,
in 1,000 different directions.
Right. So a lot of these routines get eked out of our lives, not necessarily because we're doing something, but just because it's harder and harder because of the way society is looking or what society is handing to us to develop these routines. And so, again, this is another reason why we wanted to offer the Save More community to practice being able to enter into disappointment, or practice saying no, or practice the pause, to increase our manageability of our thoughts and emotions and choices so we can intentionally choose to add them in so we have a better shot. And these are amazing findings because it's telling us we can derive incredible goodness from something that we do have a natural bent to do anyway. It's just trying to kind of offset the forces that are around us. We get so much bang for our buck when it comes to establishing these rituals, especially when it's just for the sake of being together.
Yeah.
When there's no particular agenda or goal or problem to solve, it's just relating for relating's sake, right? And this simple ritual works better than many mindfulness practices because predictability lowers anxiety in spades. And so we hear so much about, how to lower kids' anxiety or how we deal with the high levels of anxiety. And this is saying, okay, yes, practice the mindfulness. For sure, name your emotions. And if you can incorporate some of these routines, you're going to find that it's just giving you so much benefit in getting some traction there when it comes to the effects of emotional and mental health.
Man, I feel that so much. We are rightly worried about our kids. If you're a parent, especially parents of teenagers, we are rightly worried about modern adolescence and how hard it seems to be, how much harder it's seeming to be with each generation, right? And what I'm hearing you say is, yes, here's all these tools you're hearing about, and those are all good things. And sometimes building in these very simple routines are actually going to do just as much or more than all of that.
Totally.
And so I don't like to give homework, but I do have some homework.
Okay, for
our Gold Star Blue Ribbon listeners. Think of something that you can just one tiny brick you can do that, like you said, not overwhelming. If it feels too big, if it feels too perfectionist, scale way back.
Yeah.
Maybe it's text a friend, can we walk after work on Wednesday? Just one tiny thing. Think of something if you've got kids, maybe it's I'll speak to my teenage daughter. Well, Monday afternoons, we'll go to Starbucks together. Just one tiny thing that you can start building in this week, and maybe you'll notice your own anxiety decreasing.
That's a good point.
Yeah, maybe you'll notice your own brain feeling extra safe.
Yeah.
And we're so thankful that you are here and that hopefully this is providing a sense of community for you. And maybe there's other like-minded people out there who say, no, we're going to do that too. We're going to build this thing brick by brick and, be a little more human together.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.